I was just reading something about whales yesterday.
Hmm.
Is that regarding that?
Yeah, we work across a number of different species: dolphins, whales, orangutans, crows.
What if dolphins have been trying to talk to us all along, and we just couldn't understand them?
The main use of dolphin gemma is to eventually look at their natural language patterns and match it with the underwater video. That's how we really figure out their language at the head.
For decades, scientists recorded their clicks and whistles, thinking it was just animal noise. But new artificial intelligence tools uncovered something far more structured, almost like sentences. And when the results were revealed, even Joe Rogan couldn't believe what he was hearing. Keep watching as we uncover how AI may have just decoded the hidden language of dolphins and why Joe Rogan suddenly stopped talking about it.
Taking us as a species, as a civilization. It doesn't, of course, prove representational language, but it certainly, for me, what's crazy is that the dolphins, can understand that very abstract topic. Now, remember everything they've done before.
Dolphins live in oceans and some rivers around the world. They are mammals, so they breathe air, nurse their young, and keep a constant body temperature. Their bodies are shaped for life in the water. A streamlined form, a powerful tail called the fluke, and flippers for steering let them move efficiently. Their skin is smooth and often a mix of gray shades that helps them blend with the water. They have a blowhole on top of the head for breathing, and that opening closes when they dive. Most species come to the surface often, though some can hold their breath for several minutes when needed. Dolphin species range in size and habit. The common bottlenose dolphin is well known and appears in many coastal areas and open waters. River dolphins live in freshwater and have different body proportions better suited to murky rivers. Orcas, or killer whales, are the largest members of the dolphin family. Each species fits a niche. Coastal dolphins may feed on fish and squid close to shore. Deepwater species hunt for prey that lives far below the surface. Some dolphins form large groups, while others are more solitary. Group size and stability vary by species and by local conditions like food availability and predation risk. Dolphin lifespans vary. Many live decades when conditions are good. Females often live longer than males in several species. Calves depend on their mother for milk and protection during the first months of life. And in some groups, the calf will stay with its mother for years. Females often form long-term bonds with other females, and these bonds help them raise young. Males sometimes form alliances with other males for mating or for hunting. These social ties shape how dolphins move, hunt, and survive. Dolphins hunt in diverse ways. They use speed and teamwork to herd fish into tight balls that are easy to pick off. Some dolphins chase fish onto mudflats and take advantage of low water to trap prey. In certain places, dolphins work with human fishers in a kind of local partnership, driving fish toward nets. Cooperative hunting can involve different roles for individuals, showing that dolphins can coordinate actions for a shared goal. They also use tools in a few documented cases. A famous example is dolphins that place sponges on their snouts to protect them while foraging on the seafloor. That behavior is passed from mother to calf and shows social learning. Dolphins have senses that fit life in a watery world. Vision works both above and below the surface. The eyes can adjust for different light levels and for seeing underwater. Hearing is excellent and is central to how many species live. Dolphins produce clicks and whistles and use sound to sense their environment. Echolocation, the system by which they emit clicking sounds and listen for echoes, helps them find prey and navigate when visibility is low. The shape of the head, especially a fatty organ called the melon, focuses sound. The jawbone conducts returning echoes to the inner ear. This acoustic system gives dolphins a detailed picture of nearby objects, including size, distance, shape, and movement. Dolphin brains are large compared to body size. The brain has many folds and a high surface area. Scientists study anatomy and behavior to learn what that brain lets them do. Dolphins show complex social behavior, problem solving, and play. Play takes many forms, from chasing and jumping to object play and synchronized swimming. Play supports learning and social bonds. Problem-solving appears when dolphins face new challenges, while hunting, or when interacting with objects. They can use learned behaviors flexibly, rather than relying only on instinct. Social intelligence in dolphins shows up in cooperation and in relationships. Pods can coordinate in ways that seem planned. Individuals keep track of social ranks and of who cooperates most often. Some populations have stable groups with clear social roles. In other groups, membership shifts more often. Mothers teach calves foraging skills and social rules. Cultural transmission happens when young animals copy behaviors from older ones. Different populations can have distinct foraging techniques or social customs. This spread of behavior through learning is a kind of culture. Communication among dolphins is rich. They use whistles, clicks, burst pulses, body postures, and touch. Whistles often carry identity information. Researchers have found signature whistles in some species, which function like names. A dolphin will produce a distinct whistle pattern that other dolphins learn to recognize. Calves learn the signature whistle of their mother, and adults can exchange whistles to call one another. Clicks serve both echolocation and social communication when arranged in patterns. Burst pulses are rapid sequences of sounds used in close-range interactions, often in aggressive or high arousal situations. Body language matters too. Leaps, slaps of the tail on the water, and rubbing are signals that convey mood, intent, or location. Scientists record and analyze dolphin sounds to map vocal repertoires. Modern audio equipment makes it possible to collect hours of recordings from wild groups. Researchers combine these recordings with video and behavioral notes to link sounds with actions. New analytical tools let scientists break down whistle contours, click trains, and pulse rates. They can track which individuals make which calls, and in what contexts. That work has shown that dolphins vary their calls by situation. A feeding event produces different sounds than a social interaction. Vocal learning appears when young dolphins adjust sounds as they mature, or when individuals in a group adopt a new call. Dolphins show self-awareness in experiments that use mirrors. Some dolphins respond to their reflection in ways that suggest they recognize themselves rather than treating the reflection as another animal. They may inspect marks on their body that are visible only in the mirror. This capacity suggests an awareness of the self that links to complex social life. Problem-solving tasks, such as opening containers or manipulating objects, show cognitive flexibility. Dolphins can follow human gestures in controlled tests and can remember trained behaviors for years. Memory and learning work together, allowing dolphins to adapt to local conditions and to social situations. Human-dolphin interactions have a long history. In some coastal communities, dolphins attract tourism. Dolphin watching can give people a chance to observe wild behavior and to appreciate marine life. At the same time, close contact can harm dolphins by altering their habits or exposing them to boats and fishing gear. Dolphins also face threats from pollution, fisheries bycatch, habitat loss, and noise. Chemical pollutants and plastics enter the food chain and reach dolphins. Noise from ships, sonar, and industrial activity can mask important sounds dolphins use to navigate and communicate. Conservation work focuses on reducing these threats and on protecting critical habitats. Research on dolphin health shows how changes in the ocean affect them. Studies find microplastics in dolphin tissues and in their breath. Contaminants like PCBs and heavy metals accumulate in marine mammals and can impair reproduction and immune function. Diseases can spread more easily in small or stressed populations. Climate change alters prey distribution and can force dolphins to change feeding grounds. The combination of human impacts makes monitoring and management essential. Marine protected areas, fishing regulations, and pollution controls help reduce risk. Rescue and rehabilitation programs save individuals when they become entangled or stranded, but long-term population health depends on broader action. Artificial intelligence and machine learning tools are now part of dolphin research. AI can process large audio datasets and identify patterns that would be hard to see by eye. Algorithms classify whistle types, detect click trains, and spot changes over time. Machine learning models trained on labeled recordings can suggest possible meanings for calls by linking sound features with observed behaviors. For example, when thousands of hours of audio are paired with notes about feeding, resting, or social interactions, AI can learn statistical associations. Those associations point to candidate signals that deserve closer study. AI can also help separate overlapping sounds in noisy recordings, improving the signal quality for analysis. Scientists are exploring automated tagging systems that record a dolphin's sounds along with movement and depth data. These tags provide a multi-dimensional view of behavior, what a dolphin heard and said while diving, what it saw or touched, and how it moved. Large datasets from these tags help train AI models to predict behavior from acoustic patterns and movement signatures. In controlled settings, researchers use playback experiments to test responses to specific sounds. When AI suggests that a particular whistle correlates with a given action, researchers can play that whistle and observe whether dolphins respond in a predicted way. Such experiments are crucial to move from correlation to causal understanding. Work on decoding dolphin communication faces real challenges. Sounds can be highly variable between individuals and populations. A call that means one thing in a particular pod might mean something different in another. Context matters. The same sound may have different meanings depending on who is nearby and what is happening. Noise interference from the environment or human activity can mask signals. Moreover, dolphins use multimodal communication, sound plus movement, and touch. So focusing on audio alone misses part of the picture. Understanding requires integrated datasets that link sound to behavior, social context, and environment. Ethical questions arise in studies that manipulate animal communication. Playing back sounds or altering social groups can affect the animals. Researchers design tests to minimize harm and disruption, and oversight committees review protocols. The goal is to learn in ways that benefit dolphins and their conservation. If AI helps reveal how dolphins coordinate or warn one another, that knowledge can support efforts to reduce harmful noise or to protect critical feeding grounds. It may also guide rescue strategies by revealing distress calls or signals associated with injury. Some researchers imagine a future where AI models act as translators for animal communication. That vision involves training models on huge, well-labeled datasets and testing whether the models can predict behavior reliably across context and populations. Achieving that would require careful validation. A model that works for one population may fail for another. The idea of a general translator also faces the deeper fact that animal communication may not map neatly onto human categories like words and sentences. Dolphin sounds may encode information in ways that are different from human language. They might compress information across many channels, or depend on shared history and local culture to carry meaning. Even so, progress in mapping signal to action would expand understanding of how dolphins live and cooperate. In a recent podcast, Joe Rogan dove into one of the most fascinating ideas about artificial intelligence and animal communication. He talked about how our entire view of intelligence is shaped by how we communicate, then pointed out that dolphins might be doing the same thing, just in a way we don't understand yet. Rogan said that scientists believe AI could soon decipher dolphin language, revealing patterns and meanings hidden in their clicks and whistles. He mentioned that dolphins already have accents and dialects, suggesting their communication might be far more advanced than we think. As he put it, "It's wild to imagine they could be having full conversations under the water, and we've never had a clue what they're saying." Practical applications of decoding dolphin signals include conservation and welfare. If researchers can identify alarm signals or calls associated with illness, responders could act faster to help. Better understanding of social networks could inform which groups need protection to preserve cultural behaviors. Acoustic monitoring networks could detect shifts in population presence or stress levels across large regions. For tourism, knowing how human presence affects vocal behavior can lead to guidelines that reduce disruption. For fisheries, understanding how dolphins signal about prey could help design gear that reduces harmful interactions. Public interest in dolphin intelligence and communication sparks fascination and debate. Stories of trained dolphins performing tasks or of rescues where dolphins appear to guide or protect people capture attention. Scientific work grounds these stories in data, separating observation from interpretation. Researchers test hypotheses about cognition with clear methods and controls. That careful approach builds a base of reliable evidence that supports management choices and deeper inquiry. Technology keeps improving the tools available to study dolphins. Better underwater microphones, longer-lasting tags, and more powerful analysis platforms let researchers collect and process more data. Collaborative projects that pool recordings from many teams increase sample sizes and help reveal patterns that smaller studies miss. Open data initiatives allow models to be tested across research groups and regions. Interdisciplinary work brings together biologists, engineers, data scientists, and ethicists to combine perspectives. That mix of skills is important because the questions span behavior, acoustics, and social dynamics. So, did AI really decode the language of dolphins, or are we just scratching the surface of something much bigger? One thing's for sure, this discovery has made us rethink what intelligence means beyond humans. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories that challenge what we think we know.